I'm your host, Heather Ashley, and welcome to another Spooktober episode of Women of Her Story, a podcast dedicated to celebrating women who have made or are making their mark on our society. Please welcome my co-host, Squeegee Beckenheim. How are you doing today, Squeegee?
I'm feeling a little bit spooky today.
Oh.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling spooky as well. And instead of an episode about one woman, we are going to be talking about a few famous female ghosts from around the world.
Ooh, I'm afraid of ghosts.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Well, put your spooky pants on, Squeegee, because here we go. Dating back to the late 1800s, with variations from around the world, tales of the Vanishing Hitchhiker will send a chill down your spine. It all starts on a stormy night, and a man driving alone, late at night, down a rural road. The thunder crashes, the lightning flashes, and out of the corner of his eye, he sees her. A young, beautiful woman stranded on the side of the road. Wanting to make sure the woman is okay, he pulls the car over and offers her a ride home. She asks for a jacket or a hat to keep warm, and he happily obliges. Once they arrive at the destination the woman has directed him to, she gets out of the car and disappears into thin air. Naturally feeling confused and alarmed, the gentleman rings the doorbell at the address she gave. He asks them if a beautiful young woman lives there. They answer that a young woman used to live there once upon a time, but she died in a car accident out on a rural road during a storm just like this one.
See, I'm not gonna let anyone get inside my car until I have, enough information to, sign them up for, Social Security. There's no way that I'm just going to, let, a random person, off of 2 or 3 questions just kind of come in. I mean, I would see how she was doing, and then if she said she was fine, then she's fine, and if she said she's in trouble, I'd certainly call the police.
But she's a stranded hitchhiker. She's dead. She's a ghost.
I know.
He goes back to his car and notices that the garment he lent her is missing.
Ugh.
Later, it ends up being found draped over a gravestone in a local cemetery.
Ugh.
Now, not all of the vanishing hitchhikers involve ghosts. In Hawaii, the goddess Pele travels the roads incognito, rewarding kind travelers. So, see, that's where it comes to bite ya. What if she's the stranded hitchhiker?
Yeah, so I would definitely assist to a certain extent, but I mean, I don't know. You're gonna
call AAA and sit in your car and wait.
Or I'd call the proper authority, but I mean, to give someone a ride, I don't know who they are, I don't want it to come bite me, you know, but I can't trust that.
Can you imagine
I don't know.
thinking that it's a real person, a full person that opens the door to your car, they sit down, and then as soon as they get out of the car, they're just gone?
Yeah, especially in a rural area at night and someone's just off to the side. I'm like, what are the chances they're not a ghost? I'm going to assume they're a ghost.
Yeah. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well.
Yeah.
Let's take a trip across the ocean to Japan and talk about Kuchisake Onna. Dimly lit streets are a friend to no one, as this seemingly harmless woman wanders them and alleys. She covers the lower half of her face with a fan, cloth, or a face mask. She'd fit in really well right now. As she approaches her victims, she asks them if they think she's beautiful. She gets closer and closer and slowly removes her face covering to reveal a smile that has been grotesquely slit from ear to ear. Louder, she asks the question again, "Do you think I'm beautiful?" If you scream or answer no, you get a matching slash, ear to ear, just like hers. If you answer yes, she will let you walk away only to follow you home and slaughter you in your bed. Some have reportedly been able to escape the slit-mouthed woman by delivering quick and confusing answers to her questions, throwing money or hard candy at her, and distracting her long enough to run away to safety. Spirits of those killed violently tend to not rest well, sometimes trying to find closure by exacting their revenge on people that remind them of those who wronged them.
I always feel bad for those spirits.
I know. You wonder
those.
what happened. How did you get that slit mouth smile?
I wonder, but then I can't even let my imagination run that deep
because you don't want to know.
I'm already afraid of running for, the possibility
you've already
of the
thrown
encounter.
the hard candy.
Yeah, exactly. I've already thrown everything. Yeah, I've already moved you in front of me while I'm running. I've already done that part. We've already gotten to that part. Yeah, so boo,
No one fits the description of a person violently wronged than our next famous ghost, Henry VIII's second wife, Anne Boleyn. That monster Henry mistreated her constantly, and when she couldn't produce a male heir, he not only divorced her, but had her beheaded.
Wow.
She haunts the Tower of London and various surrounding buildings. At the Tower of London, the captain of the guard saw a light flickering in the locked-up Chapel Royal. Trying to figure out where the light was coming from, he climbed up a ladder to a window looking into the Chapel Royal. What he saw was something he could have never dreamt. A procession of knights and ladies dressed in ancient costumes pacing the chapel. Their leader, an elegant female, had a face that resembled Anne Boleyn in the portraits hung around the tower. He looked away for just a moment, and when he looked back, the whole scene had disappeared. In 1864, a soldier on duty near the lieutenant's lodgings saw Anne's ghost walking through the garden. He confronted and challenged the white figure, and when his challenge was not acknowledged, he plunged his bayonet into the figure. To his horror and surprise, it went straight through the woman with no resistance, instead of the flesh that he was expecting. An officer lodged in the Bloody Tower saw the whole event from his window. Anne's ghost has also been seen at Hever Castle, Windsor Castle, Hampton Court, Rochford Hall, and Blickling Hall. In Hampton Court, Anne has been seen wearing a black or blue dress and is always headless during these manifestations.
I like that she is choosing to haunt the royalty or the environments that the royalty exist in. I think that's a good use of her spirit power.
Absolutely, and I like that she changes her
look every
her
time.
manifestations. She's
here,
like, maybe I won't be completely like malintended over here, but here you're gonna see me headless.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna have a head at this point.
Well, here's the best one. Every year on the anniversary of her execution, which is May 19th, I shouldn't have prefaced that with the best one.
Yep.
But Blickling Hall gets quite a sight. Anne Boleyn's headless ghost arrives clutching her severed head in a phantom carriage drawn by a headless coachman and 4 headless horses. When they arrive, the carriage and horses disappear, leaving only Anne. She roams the corridors and grounds until sunrise.
You couldn't pay me any amount of money to spend a night in this hall. Yeah. No. I can totally avoid encountering that.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, we'll find another place.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Henry's 5th wife, Catherine Howard, haunts Hampton Court, the site where she was arrested before she too was beheaded. Sad. He was a monster. I hate him.
Yeah, I mean...
This all makes me want to sing all of Six the Musical.
I was going to ask. I was like...
It's what all of them are about, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The song that's like, no way. That's Anne Boleyn.
That's...
Catherine Howard, yeah.
That's sad that
he's a monster. I hate him.
Yeah, they're 2 ghosts because of him.
Oh, there's so many ghosts because of him. These are just 2 of the women who were beheaded.
Sorry, specifically the women.
No, but 2 women
that were beheaded.
Yeah, no, all his other wives are also definitely
ghosts and haunting his offspring.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's head south of the border and talk about the famous Mexican ghost, La Planchada, or the Ironed Lady. Not the Iron Lady, but the Ironed Lady. I had a little Google mishap, and I was like, Meryl Streep?
Yeah,
What?
Yep,
but
yes, she
no,
is
not the same. She did not. She did not.
She could do it all. Meryl. Yeah.
Eulalia was a nurse at Hospital Juarez in the heart of Mexico City in the 1930s. She was an excellent nurse, and her patients all loved her. She met a handsome doctor, and the two fell madly in love. One day, he told her he had to leave for a medical conference, of which he never returned. He had met another woman while away and decided to abandon his current life altogether. Of course, this affected her greatly in every possible way. Her work in particular suffered, and she ended up losing a patient due to a lack of concentration. Feeling like she had no other options, La Planchada took her own life in the very halls of the hospital. It is said that she wanders the halls of not just Hospital Juarez, but hospitals all over Mexico. She doesn't seem to be a malevolent spirit, as many patients she visits are mysteriously healed the next day. So why do they call her the Ironed Lady? Well, her apparitions are always wearing a clean and freshly pressed uniform.
Wow.
Yeah. So we talked about Lorraine Warren at the start of our Spooktober series, and how her ventures into the paranormal were the inspirations behind the Conjuring universe. This next ghost, the Bell Witch, is the key inspiration behind the Blair Witch Project and its surrounding movies. The Bell Witch, who later revealed herself to be a witch named Kate Batts, was responsible for paranormal activity in the Bell family home in 1817. The Bell family settled in Robertson County, Tennessee in 1804 on 320 acres of rich farmland along the Red River. The first decade or so on the property was blissful, with no incidents, until 1817 when some members saw strange-looking animals around the property. They heard knocking sounds on the doors and outer walls of the house. Then the sounds started coming from inside the house. They could hear rats gnawing on the bedposts, chains being dragged through the house, stones being dropped on the wooden floors, and gulping and choking sounds. The family suffered in silence for over a year, fearing what sharing the hauntings would look like to their friends and family. They finally confided in a neighbor who told them that they had to share their experiences with everyone. People came from miles around to witness the strange happenings around the Bell family home. When asked who she was and why she was doing this, she answered Kate Batts. Her main mission was to kill John Bell, though she never said why. Her second mission was to prevent Betsy, one of their daughters, from marrying a neighbor boy by the name of Joshua Gardner. Kate tormented Betsy and John the most out of the family, and it was extremely physical. She would pull Betsy's hair, pinch her, scratch and stick her with pins, and beat her. John suffered swelling of the throat and the feeling of a stick stuck sideways in his throat. It eventually progressed to twitching and jerking of his facial muscles. Kate Batts drew large crowds. She knew the Bible and knew people's pasts, and she could predict their futures. She could even be in two places at once, miles apart. On December 20th, 1820, Kate's first mission was completed. When John Bell died, a suspected poisoning by the Bell Witch.
My goodness. I can't even imagine them, like, existing in the space that she did for as long as they did. You know what I mean? Like, in movies, we're just like, why don't the people leave if, like, they're being terrorized? And maybe
like, where are they gonna go? It's the 1800s, and they just spent all their money on 320 acres of land.
You know, the other thing is, like, in that movie with Ethan Hawke, I think it was Sinister, where the ghost, like, they actually did move, they did move away from the house, and then it was they moved
If
from the
malevolent
house.
spirits hate you, they're gonna follow you.
Right, yeah, they followed.
It
they
doesn't
followed
matter
him.
where you live.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's basically what that part of the movie was about. So, you know, it could be like they move and she would still, Kay would have still harassed them.
Just a few months later, in March of 1821, her second mission was completed when Betsy broke off her engagement with Joshua Gardner. Seemingly to feel satisfied with her haunting and success of her missions, she bid farewell to the Bells and promised to return in 7 years. And for a few weeks in 1828, she returned. During this visit, she went to John Bell Jr., who needed closure. They had long talks about the past, present, and future, but she never gave the reason for John Bell Sr.'s death. At the end of her visit, she said she would next return in 107 years, which would have been 1935. Some believe that she never left. There are strange happenings in the Bell Witch Cave and in and around the town of Adams, Tennessee.
Yeah, we'll never go through.
That's on our road trip list.
Yeah, we'll never go through Adams, Tennessee. Sorry.
We're gonna go to
Shout
the
out
Bell
to
Witch
people in
Cave.
Adams, Tennessee for having the backbone to exist in that space, but we could avoid that area. We could drive away. We could drive around that area.
I've heard it both ways. We'll see.
Man. That is unfortunate that he couldn't even get the closure of figuring out.
She never said why.
That's even more mean-spirited, I
would
think,
be
than
so
even
upset.
killing him.
Yeah.
Like, you have all these answers and you know all these things and you're choosing not to.
Yeah.
Like, you're cold. You're just a cold,
chaotic,
dead
evil
witch.
Yeah. Ghost witch craziness. She was apparently able to make herself kind of similar to the Vanishing Hitchhiker, where it feels like it's a truly real person in front of you. Yeah, crazy.
Awful experience.
One of the most common sightings of female ghosts are categorized as the White Lady. Sightings are reported across the globe. She usually wears white. It's a usually blood-soaked dress and frequents rural areas where a tragedy has occurred. She is doomed to wander forever in torment until she finds closure. She is usually a victim of a tragic death, either accidental, a murder, or a suicide. One in Malta lives in Verdala Palace in the forest of Busquet Rabat, Malta. She was engaged to be married to a man she didn't love. When she expressed her distaste and her hesitancy to go through with the wedding, her father told her just to do as her fiancé said. Feeling like she didn't have any other options, she jumped off a balcony on the day of her wedding. She now haunts the Verdala Palace in her wedding gown, and those who attend the August Moon Ball confirmed that she appears in her dress.
Dang.
In Durand Eastman Park in Rochester, New York, there is a woman known as the Lady in the Lake. She wanders the park area, obsessively looking for the body of her daughter who was slain by a boyfriend. In Bedford, Virginia, Mary Frances, also known as Fran Burwell, lingers on a particular front porch. She is waiting for her husband to come home from the Civil War.
Who's gonna be the one to give her the bad news?
She can't. That makes me sad, because she doesn't have closure, she can't leave to meet her husband in the afterlife, if you believe in an afterlife. You know, she's stuck because she doesn't know where he is. Oh, so sad.
I wonder if there's any way to communicate with the spirits that sort of information in order for them to
go
help
to the light.
them pass. Yeah.
It makes me think of that show, The Ghost Whisperer.
Yes. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That was one of her powers. She would help ghosts find their closure.
Is that like a medium? Does a medium do that?
Kind of.
They kind
of... mediums. I think they call them trance mediums. I'm not sure, though. But a medium is someone who communicates. But usually they can't really tell the ghost how to find closure. They more like communicate from the ghost to a loved one. They're literally, they can just pass messages like that. They can't really provide actual like conversation.
Like Sarah Paulson's character in American Horror Story Murder House. That first one where she like forget her specific the specifics of her character, but she is that character that they bring in to have her talk to was it Tate or something?
Yeah.
Jessica Lange. Anyway.
Dim the lights, say her name 3 times while looking in a mirror. Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and wait for the bloodletting to start. If done correctly, Bloody Mary might either appear in the mirror, reach out of the mirror and scratch your face, or she will be released from the afterlife to haunt you forever. The mirror may even start to drip blood, your hair might turn white, or you might just disappear without a trace. The root of the legend of Bloody Mary comes from several different women. Queen Mary I, Mary Tudor, put numbers of Protestants to death for heresy. She was nicknamed Bloody Mary. Elizabeth Bathory was convicted of murdering hundreds of young girls so she could bathe in their blood, giving her the apt nickname of Queen of Blood. And Mary Worth, a suspected witch that was executed in the Salem witch trials. I dare you to summon her the next time you're looking in a mirror.
Did you ever do that? Oh, no.
Yes.
I shouldn't have asked that
Of
question.
course I
can just see you beaming in the corner of my eye, so of course
I was
you're
that
about
kid.
to reminisce. Yep.
Listen, I was the one making everyone at the sleepover do it.
Awful.
No one ever, I think I only had one friend who would actually do it 3 times. Most wouldn't. Or they would close their eyes on the third, and you can't do that. You have to keep your eyes open the whole time.
I'm glad I wasn't able to go to a lot of sleepovers when I was younger to be coerced by kids like you to do something crazy like that. Because I'm like Chucky Finster, you know what I mean? I'm so afraid of like everything. Like, and I can't imagine. I never did that. I always, like, I shook my head and everyone was like, oh, Bloody Mary. Like, no. It's a setup.
That was my thing.
It's a setup. No.
I mean, that wasn't my thing, but like,
that was my
did
thing.
that.
I would just stand in the bathroom in the dark and say
I do it every day. It's part of my affirmations.
Yeah. I brush my teeth.
Me and Bloody Mary,
I do
super
my thing. I play Bloody Mary a couple times. Yeah. Then I start my day. Then I have coffee.
Then I have coffee.
Yeah, then I do my thing.
I'll leave you all with a ghost who doesn't seem to be out to get you or anyone. In fact, she is committed to performing her duties as First Lady. That's Dolly Madison. She played a significant role in making the White House the social center of politics, and she still takes her role very seriously. She has been seen near the fireplace in the main ballroom of the Octagon House. She's also been spotted walking through a closed door, heading toward the back garden of the Octagon House. Her presence is accompanied by the smell of lilacs, her favorite flower. She actually planted the original rose garden at the White House. During Woodrow Wilson's term, his wife decided to remove the gardens. Dolly was having none of this and appeared before the workmen assigned to the task, and she confronted them. They fled, and the rose garden remains. There was recently a renovation that is decidedly underwhelming and devoid of all its historic, colorful, bold, and diverse appearance. It is already under repair, and I'd like to think that First Lady Dolly Madison has something to do with it.
I just hope she's spooking that place up right now. I can't imagine.
She's haunting the rose gardens. She's saying, put it back.
That's such a historical...
Put it back.
Yeah, that's such a building of historical importance. The White House and just, all the other accompanying buildings. I just can't imagine wanting to walk around or live there after a certain time of the night. I'm sure there's just haunted. Yeah.
I would also like to give a little side note in that
and say haunted.
Haunted. Boo. But no, I went on a little bit of a Dolly Madison hole, so she's one of our future episodes, because oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Shouts out
She's
James
amazing.
Madison for you know,
For
finding a
marrying
fire-
Dolly?
Yeah, for having a firecracker.
She's incredible. She had quite a life. Any closing ghosty notes?
I feel for the bad spirits, or no, sorry, I feel for the spirits that linger and don't have the opportunity to pass. It's very unfortunate, and it's sad when those people die unjustly deaths and have to kind of suffer as a result. You know, now for some people who do linger because they messed up,
Because they're terrible people.
you're bad.
Probably Bloody Mary.
But I'm afraid of you also. So I don't know where I stand with you guys. Ghosts. I'm gonna give them a thumbs down.
I'm
gonna give ghosts a thumbs
That is a
down.
way to get us haunted immediately.
No. No, I'm not saying they're real. They're not real. That would be different.
You're
If I
just
said-
giving them a
if
thumbs
I
down.
said
You're
they
giving
weren't
them a
real,
bad
I'm
Yelp
giving
review.
them- well, I'm.
You're
yeah.
giving Dolly Madison a bad Yelp review?
No. I just give ghosts a bad. I give ghosts a thumbs down just because I
What
don't
if they're
enjoy
happy ghosts?
the idea of continually existing post life.
Oh, you don't
Like,
want that life
that's-
for you.
I'm tired. You know what I mean? Like, I'm already like a tired individual. Like, if you're telling me I have to continue my afterlife haunting people and still doing things like, you know, for better or worse, I feel like my soul would be tired.
Yeah.
I
Fair.
feel like I want to be able to rest in my afterlife. That's why I give ghosts a
I
thumbs
see.
down. Because
Okay.
I don't want to do any more work once we, like, I feel like we should all just be able to pass comfortably. You know, the fact that I
Yeah.
have to go, if I die like a unfortunate death, you
I
know,
push
if
you in
someone
front of a
kills
train.
me. Yeah, let's say that, right? Then I have to haunt you. But now look what you did to me. Look
Oh,
what
I
you
made
did to
you
me.
tethered
Yeah, you
to-
tethered me here.
I
That sucks
see.
so
I see.
much.
That's an interesting perspective. I
It's-
don't know that
it's-
I've thought of that before.
Yeah, and so I just don't want to be
You don't
stuck.
want a ghost job.
No, I don't want to be in purgatory. You know what I mean? I don't want to just kind of be in limbo. I want
Right.
to have past, or you know, whatever happens. I want to cease. If I'm going to exist as a dog in my next life, I want that to happen like seconds after I pass in real
Oh,
time.
I get it. Okay.
I want to be a dog
Yeah.
or a tree, or whatever. You know what
Sure.
I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe a fly, a bird. Who knows? You know.
I want to be a fruit fly. I think we've talked about this.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that in one of the other episodes. And
Oh, did I?
I teased you about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Historians, for tuning in again. We're having a good time. I don't know if you guys can tell, so hope you guys are too. Come back this Friday for an interview with Jen Alfred Teester. Jen is a senior research scientist at the Geisel School of Medicine at Dartmouth College, and she is currently running for the New Hampshire State Senate to represent District 8. In this interview, she discusses why her background in public health makes her an excellent candidate, her passion for improving public education, and so much more.
Please check that out.
It's
It
so
is a
good.
great
She's
interview.
awesome.
Yes, she is awesome.
She's so cool. Shout out to you, Jen.
Yeah, shouts out.
Make sure you guys subscribe, rate, and review. It really helps us grow and grow, so please get on that. You can follow us on social media, Twitter,
The Her Story Pod,
Instagram,
Women of Her Story Podcast,
and visit our website at.
ofherstory.com.
And until this Friday, be safe, stay healthy, and show the world what you're made of.
Boo. Wear a mask. Bye.
Bye.